time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, The Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. It is that time again for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking to Blake coming up in just minutes, actually just seconds. But in the meantime, let me give some information, because over the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear some great stuff that you're going to hear more about. And the easy way to get more information is to call Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. We're contacted from a lot in the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get the show started with Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome show. Got the brand new market numbers in from last month, and they're interesting to say the least. We'll go over those. They're up, which is good, but we'll talk about where they're up, where they're down, and really give you some deep market intelligence to help you all obviously know more, make better decisions overall. Some cool stuff we'll talk about too. 7 paint colors to avoid in the bedroom, right, which is interesting, right? There's all kind of psychology behind it. Studying how some colors make things more passionate, some make more angry. So we'll talk about that study, which is pretty cool. Also, top states that Americans moved into last year. If you remember a while back, we did the U-Haul data, right? So now Atlas Van Lines came out with their data, and they're actually a little bit different, which is interesting. So we'll talk about what that is. Again, just like I mentioned last week briefly, we're at a crisis level right now for inventory of what's available from a home standpoint. We have way more buyers than there are homes for sale. We'll talk about what that means as well. We mentioned briefly last week there's a long line of buyers looking for your house in a national report. Just not just a local challenge, it's a national challenge right now with overall inventory. And so we'll talk about that as well. Also, again, as usual, have some amazing success stories we're very proud of. Our team has been kicking big time butt since 1st of January, and we'll talk about that as well. If we have a little bit of time at the end, I'll talk about our investment fund that we have as well. It's looking just to buy properties straight up as is, no commission. That's also an option for anyone out there. We'll talk about that as well if we have time.
All right. Well, we'll fit it as much as we can. Obviously, it's going to be a busy next 30 minutes, so stick around. If you're just trademark systems that he has for both home sellers and home buyers, can't give you all the details on those systems because they're, well, trademarked, but he can give a hint of what the most important thing is that you can look at as far as buying or selling.
Hands down, this is something that really resonates with me because it's my why, right? It's kind of why we do what we do, why we do this show. It really comes down to just all the absolute horror stories that we see and that we experience in our business, and I see it every single day, right? Even people that listen to this show for 6 months, they go through a horror story somewhere else, they finally call us after they're tired of having a problem. And the reality is the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period. If I could just do a whole 30 minutes just talking about that, that would probably serve more than anything because it's that important. Everyone makes this mistake of thinking that everyone's the same, they're a commodity. It could not be further from the truth in regards to how the actual, and the reason, everybody asks, why is that it, right? Why is that the case? It's just like any doctor, any lawyer. If you're charged with a crime you did not commit, you don't want just any old lawyer. You want the absolute best, most attentive, most aggressive lawyer that you can to help obviously protect you. Same thing with a doctor. If you have a sickness that's very life-threatening, you want the absolute best who specializes in that aspect. Why not have the same exact thought process when you're dealing with your largest asset? But the problem is they just go with any old Joe that somebody knows or the friend of a friend or whatever it is. And the reason it matters the most because there's all these variables from A to Z that have to be executed. Specifically, when you're selling your house, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? It puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka that ball gets dropped, that costs you money, aka your hard-earned equity, or what happens most of the time is your property doesn't sell. So you're riding that emotional roller coaster for 6+ months. Is it going to sell? Is it not going to sell? In some cases, you're paying 2 mortgage payments. In some cases, it's keeping you from getting the property that you want of your dreams. And so the reality is who you use matters and how they execute matters. And so what we did and what makes us different, right, from the old school mentality, the old school way, which used to work before there was so much technology in the game, is they did the 3 Ps, right? They promised the world to get the listing. 2, they put it to MLS, or in the old days, MLS book. And 3, they prayed that someone would just bring a buyer, a different agent for a different company. Meanwhile, they're down the street already hunting down the next listing. And that is so true. I grew up in it. We were looking at an old picture actually this week as I was teaching my class for our agents of me holding an old MLS board that my parents were putting together from like 1987, where back then you had to take a regular Polaroid, put it on a board, and then they would take a photo of the board and put it to the book, right? Back then you get away with that stuff. In today's time, you can't do that. And so the reality is it matters overall how they execute. And so what we did to make a difference here is, first of all, we identified all the variables. Most agents have no clue. I know that because when I was in the business, right, no one really knew. And so even we took time to identify step by step each and every one. Then what we did is create a system that's proven and repeatable, that creates maximum leverage every single point. It's like stacking the dominoes, and it creates massive gap between each one. So if I can win variable number one, right, win variable number two, all the way through the process, there's a massive gap between us and everyone else. And ultimately, what it does is give our client a competitive advantage in the process. And so when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, that difference makes a huge difference on the back end, right? We talk about this. It's like running a marathon. Everyone takes off at the same time. Some finish hours ahead of other ones. Some don't finish at all. And so it's the same exact thing when it's dealing with a marathon of your housing. Is there a system in place? Is there someone to help execute on that? And how passionate and how aggressive are they in executing? So for us, the system's designed to have people manage it, aka myself, my team, software we built out to help make sure nothing slips through the cracks, and ultimately the aggressiveness and the passion behind it to make sure that it gets done, right? And so that's called the Guaranteed Sold system. It's a system I designed. It's exclusive to us. We license to other agents, other parts of the country, like Dave mentioned. It's trademarked, and so it's only proven systems that sells twice as fast and for up to 200% more money than traditional methods, and it makes a massive, massive difference. We have 3 agents with us right now that we took through a training class that are brand new to us this year that were from different companies. They went through the class, guess what? Absolutely mind blown because of the difference in the system. Then the question asked me, what did you guys have at your place before? And the answer from all 3 was we didn't have any system, right? We just did it, put MLS and kind of did our thing and took some photos. So the reality is there a system in place, and are you willing to gamble with your largest asset on someone if they don't have a proven, repeatable system that not only works here, it works anywhere across the country? And so don't cost yourself from that aspect. On the flip side of the equation, guess what? There's 100 plus variables when you buy a house, and it's the same exact thing there. The single most important variable is the agent you choose, because it has to do with how they execute and how they guide you. So for us, reverse engineer them all, create a system to give our client a huge competitive advantage. That's called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. It's priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation, and also in both purchase price and also in the home inspection. So if you want to know more about that, right, think about this. This is one of the largest assets that you have, or one of the many largest assets that you have. If you have multiple properties, do not gamble with that, right? Make sure you have someone in the system. You owe it to yourself to learn about our system. Give us a call, 843-808-SOLD for sure.
All right, coming up in just a second, you heard Blake say it earlier, new market numbers, plus we've got the important numbers that you need to know about. Mortgage rates, where are they right now? We'll tell you that exactly to the moment. And all that and a whole lot more coming your way. You'd like to get in touch with Blake? You can do that. Give him a call at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to BlakeSloan.com, BlakeSloan.com.
Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Kennedy here with some important advice. Now look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this: hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers a week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Coming up in just a second, we'll see what the mortgage rates are looking like. Brand new numbers on that. Are they going up, going down? You'll find out after we talk about most dealer numbers. We got new market numbers to see what's going on around the area. What are you seeing, Blake?
So we got some great news overall for market numbers. One aspect that's crazy, I'll get to that in a second. I'll just get a little quick on it. Average sale price last month went up 20%.
Wow.
Huge jump. We'll talk about why and what. Median, not so much, which I like to use median just because it eliminates some of those outliers out there, but that's something to kind of watch and understand. Sales last month for single family homes, which is like kind of what most of the marketplace is, up 8.1%. So great news there. Not quite as much as it was last month. Remember last month it was double digits. 8.1% January versus the January of the previous year. So for example, if you look back, there were 371 sales in January of 2019. January 2020, 401 sales. So obviously it's still climbing, which is great news overall. Median price up 9.5%. It was up, I think it was 7.8, and it went up a little bit last month. But right now, 9.5% increase in price, which is off. So the median price, $230,000. Now, if you flip that and look at average price, and you watch the graph like going up a cliff. In December, 276. In January, 305. So massive increase there, about $30,000 just in 1 month if you look at average sale price. So that's to do, like, if y'all, man, I wish you could go back on YouTube, watch some of my shows, what I say, right? Supply and demand. You have huge increase in demand. Supply is down. Where's the pressure going to be? The pressure is going to be at price. And so when you see a 20% increase in price for an average sale price, that's shocking in my opinion, basically, because you're having to have people that are having to pay more money to get it. If you wait too long, there is a challenge because you start running. If it does it too fast, you're going to have a challenge with appraisals, right? Because we have that happen. Like for us, happens a lot because we sell them at very high, whatever it may be. We usually can get that change for our client, which is something that I think is a huge value. One of those variables we talked about, but that's something to watch out for. And just looking back, you watch any old shows we talked about, you're going to see a huge jump in price. This is it you're seeing. And the reason it's in your average versus median, because it's kind of some of those higher demand areas, higher demand prices. When you look at the entire county, right, that median kind of helps you look at that. But you better guarantee, and we talk about the micro market next week, there's going to be some huge jumps, some average ones, and that just has to do with property type, what's going on. But that's probably the most shocking number of this month for me, is a 20.3% increase month versus month there, from a 276, 268 in December. Now we're up 305,001 in January. So if you're thinking about selling, guess when you want to tee that up? I want to tee that up when people are paying more money and there's less properties available, right? Because I'm playing that data to win. And so that's the key point there overall. I think I told the story in the past. I had a coach a long time ago from this guy in Austin, Texas. And his name was Harold, probably the smartest guy I've ever met. He had grocery store chains, and he took it from right up before 40 to 4,000. He sold them, and he made tons of money. And he kind of just taught me a lot of these things. And he told me, he said, Blake, if I ever come to your marketplace, I'm going to beat you every single time. And I said, why is that? He said, I'm going to reverse engineer the numbers, and I'll play to win every single time. Meaning that he would do the same exact thing. What's the inventory? What are the sales? And you tee it up at the right time so you're able to capitalize on whatever's going. And so that's the same type process here that we help our clients do. The same thing that you do if you want to, if you've been listening. Because here's the other shocking number on this. If you look at single family inventory last week or last month, you remember it's 4.2 months inventory. Right now we have 4.1 months inventory. Guess what we just hit? Another record, an absolute low of what we have in availability right now. It's a 19.6% decrease in inventory. So now we have a 20% increase in prices, right? Obviously sales are up. I think what was 8% there, and inventory is down 19%. You can continue to see what's going to happen with price. And so this year, from a strategy standpoint, I want to get in the game earlier because of the shortage of obviously inventory. You couple that, what we'll talk about in a minute, super low interest rates in the mid threes, makes a big difference here. And so that's something as well. Again, another record. It falls off a cliff. I mean, if you look back in even June of 2018, there are 5.6 months inventory. Right now, 4.1. If you look back at the overall 5-year history, there's not been anything closest until recently, right? We had 4.2 recently. Going back even 2018, the lowest it got was 4.9. So it's by far the lowest I've seen it in basically since 2005, really. So if you want to make sure you're taking advantage of that, you want to play the supply and demand to your advantage overall. as a home seller, which makes a big difference there as well. So obviously, really quick in new construction sales pretty flat, actually down 1.4% overall. If you look at price though, average price up 4.4%, median price pretty much flat, 262, 565. And the overall thing there, inventory is actually up a little bit in new construction. They're kind of catching up with a 4.0% increase. I don't fully trust those numbers because there's a lot of the national builders that just don't report their data. And so that's something I would really want to dig down to a micro market, aka the zip code, and kind of figure out what's going on. But in looking at overall resale condos, condo sales pretty much flat last month. They're at 0.% decrease. So they're at 352 sales versus if you look at January of 2019, they're at 355. So almost identical, right? In a year versus difference. We are obviously a little bit seasonal. So you can kind of see that in the graph. We always show this to our clients when we meet with. They love that. Prices for condos, great news. Median price up 7.7%, right at 140, and average price up 5.0%. So condos pretty steady. You can see the hottest part of the market right now, single families. Mostly, in my opinion, from what I've experienced, people moving down here, man. They're moving down here, they're relocating, they're selling their house up there. And also, we talked about this in some other areas up north where there's not much inventory. We talked in the past of some of the frustrations they have because they don't sell what they have because they can't buy something else. What we're seeing a lot of people do is they're just saying, hey, forget it. We're going to sell our property, move down to Myrtle Beach, and they're obviously coming down here, which is why our inventory is drying up, right? So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Everyone's coming in. Obviously, the economy is roaring, which is good for everyone having confidence in buying. Months of supply for condos also down 7.8%, and there's 4.7 months of inventory. So overall, in my opinion, man, this is some of the numbers I haven't seen. I can't tell you last time I saw a 20% increase in prices in 1 month. I mean, huge, right? Also, I can't tell you last time I've ever seen 4.1 months inventory. Like I said, maybe back in 2005, but back then we didn't have the data and the tools to track that. And so that's something that's really kind of, in my opinion, going to be the shining piece of data in this spring marketplace. You want to get ahead of it because rates are still low, people are still confident, and like we talked about last week's show, there's a lot of national data that's showing that buyer traffic has been up the past 3 months a lot earlier than it has been in the past. And so just use that data to your advantage. From our standpoint, we're always here to serve you. Even if you're not ready to sell, you want to know more about it. Like I'm a big nerd on these numbers. Our team studies this like crazy. More than happy to give you some information, some data if you want. No hassle, no charge. And again, we're just here to serve, help you have the information you want. In the long run, we know it comes back to us. Real quick, one thing that's driving it, interest rates, right? If you remember last week's show, 3.49%. We are below 3.5, which we talked about last week too, was like we thought would never happen again, right? We're like kind of that's the one thing I think we were wrong on. I think everyone was wrong on that if you look back a couple of years ago because no one expected it to stay this low. When I was reading it this week, has a lot to do obviously with the markets. Coronavirus has played a little part of that too, and how it's affected the markets. But right now, it's still very similar. 3.53% this week for a 30-year fixed rate. 15-year fixed right now, 3.19%. A FHA loan right now, 3.33%. That's the one that averaged 20% per month. Jumbo loan, 3.64%, and a 5-year adjust rate mortgage, 3.33%. And so there's a huge opportunity there in regards to what you can do. And so that's one thing we were talking about. Get in the game, right? Especially if you're looking either second home, investment properties. We had a guy from Colorado come to the office yesterday, just walked in, and he's thinking about renting for a few years. And we started showing the numbers and talking about here's where you can get in now, right? Add some more to that retirement money in an equity standpoint, just based on what the past 3 years of numbers have done here. Super excited about it, right? So there's a lot of opportunity you can do investment side, also on the single family side. If you're looking to move up, right, do it while there's still some inventory and while interest rates are super, super low. One of the most mismanaged variables in the whole buying process is usually interest rates. So take advantage of that. Huge advantage right now. If you need any more questions about the marketplace, always just give my office a call, 843-SOLD for sure.
All right, still a lot to get to as far as the show is concerned. Coming up in just a minute, we have your hot buyer alert. Also some fantastic success stories, people who have worked with Blake and do not regret it at all and would tell you in a heartbeat, do the exact same thing. All right, that's all coming up in just a second. Get in touch with Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group. Phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts.
Probably over on time.
When I'm moving on, we'll be a 6.5 song.
Okay, let's do hot buyers and success stories.
Life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home.
If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan, and right now it's time for your hot buyers alert. Blake and his team working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers who are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, anywhere from $150,000 to $3.5 million. So if you're thinking of selling, contact Blake immediately. Phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SLLD. Now, how many people are out there looking for homes? Well, as Blake just got done saying, the amount of homes that are out there are like really at an all-time low, so he needs your inventory because there are over 55,000. Here's the real number: 55,835. That's how many active home buyers are on Blake's website right now, looking to be the very first person to see your home when it gets listed.
Absolutely real time, right? Like Dave mentioned, real username, password, everything. And these are real people that are looking to buy here. And so right now, I got a brand new one. I can't even pronounce the name. John Vanderhinian, I don't know how you say it, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Christina Arnold from Four Oaks, North Carolina. Dolores Minagog from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Linda Prima, Myrtle's Inlet. We got also Francisco. We'll call him Francisco D. Can't say it. These are some crazy ones today. Leo Minster, Massachusetts, right? So the reality is they're from all over the United States. Why is that? Because we have a different business model. It's a huge advantage to us, right? Basically, we have a team model, a team of buyer experts, and I'm able to outspend the average agent 100 to 1. Why? Because worst case scenario, we're going to serve them at a high level, help them find the house they want, and they're going to enjoy it. Best case scenario, we're going to take the buyer, use our technology, match up buyer and seller. They're both happy. We sell the house that we have. Boom, we're able to do that. And that was something cool. We have amazing repeat clients of ours. They're big listeners to the show. Roger Porter, Cheryl Porter, they're a bunch of houses for them. And the listed house that they had as investment property, single family house in a neighborhood. Boom, we had one of the agents on our team, Katie, had one of her buyers, match up the buyers, boom, sold. And so that's something we do consistently. But these are real people like this John Vanderheiden, 22 visits, look at 69 properties, only registered 12 days ago, right? Constantly searching. And so we need inventory. But the difference between us and anyone else, that's why I share this, is that these are real people that we're already marketing before you ever even pick up the phone to call us, right? How do you think that's going to create advantage for you by the time that you ever call us, that we're already running full speed, right? Most people, they wait to start the ball before they wait to start the movement to start advertising until you call and it's on the marketplace. Here, the machine's already running. It's a huge advantage for us. So if you want to know more about that, reach out, call us. Anybody you know, friends, relatives, aunts, uncles, if you like them, don't like them. Like I said, drag them to the office, because I hear so many horror stories of people that are just misled, let down, don't get what they want. And the ultimate problem is the marketing aspect of how the property shows up. And so that's what we're proud of. That's something I'm obsessed with. I'm sure, as you can tell. I mean, we've been really pushing lately too, as just turning up the notch of finding more buyers from all over the globe. Really, we're hitting them on Facebook, hitting them on Google, MSN, Yahoo. I know who's going where. We geo-target them based on where they live because we know who's coming in town. Very high level of stuff, right? And a lot of agents are still trying to figure out Microsoft Outlook. And so that's the big difference here, is a new school approach, new school technology, allowing us to give you and ourselves the competitive advantage. So really quick, I know we run out of time. Some success stories really quick I'm very proud of. Big shout out to Deborah. She had a house in Myrtle Beach listed for over 6 months with a filter. Got nothing but frustration. Only received a few showings and some broken promises. She was at her wit's end, asked her friend, who thankfully was a listener to this radio show, told her to call Blake Sloan. She called in. We came in, designed custom strategy, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic, had it under contract within 3 weeks, which is super awesome as well. Also, Dylan and Erica looking to move from Conway to Myrtle Beach so they'd be closer to jobs and Sun School. Dylan's a great listener to us on the radio show here. Reached out, called us, came in, did strategy, global marketing blitz, professional photos. The coolest part, drove massive traffic, had offered 99% of asking price with just a couple of weeks. And so we also helped him and both them, Dale and Erica, find a perfect dream home and what we call navigate that delicate dance. That's what most people are scared of is like, do I buy first? Do I sell first? And for us, the answer is really you got both. And we help guide you through that baseline strategy. Sometimes we have them listed first. Sometimes we help them find theirs first. And we can do what we call a contingency offer versus, the one that you're buying. And so if you want to know how that works, man, just reach out, call us. Like, we're super friendly. We have experts on both sides. I'm fanatical about training our team and making sure that we're giving the right data and the right advice, because that's really the biggest thing. That you can search for housing online anywhere, but you can't find that expert advice just anywhere. And that's the key part as well. How much time we got?
About a minute and a half.
Minute and a half. So interesting. I guess I may say this, that the states everybody's moving to, and this new report is kind of different than the U-Haul. They got on here top states to move to: Idaho, Washington State, North Carolina, New Mexico, Tennessee, Rhode Island. We're not on that top.
Yeah.
I trust U-Haul a little better, just because I see way more U-Haul trucks than I do in Atlas van lines. Of course, everyone's still moving out of New York because everyone's trying to escape that, the taxes and the challenges. Moving out Illinois, West Virginia on there, South Dakota. But reality is, we have massive amounts of buyers. If you're thinking about selling, reach out to us. Same time, if you're a buyer that's thinking about getting an absolute deal with rates, and also for prices are continuing to climb up 20%, reach out and give us a call on both sides. We have teams that are specialized. We're a team of specialists, not a generalist that's trying to do everything. And so that's the one thing you find in real estate. They can't master anything because they're trying to master everything. So reach out to us. Give us a call, 843-808-SOLD.
I think Escape from New York was a movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's an ongoing movie, right?
All right. If you want to get in touch with Blake, please do. You've heard the number several times. 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Learn more.